Hey there, good people. My name is Scott, and you are watching Sword and Shield Studio. Right now, we're going to learn how to do some basic text tracking within Fusion. Now, this particular method works best if you have a simple panning shot or shot on a tripod. If you're trying to do a more complex tracking effect, maybe match your text to a specific surface in your image, there are other trackers within Fusion that work better for that I'll go over in a future video. With that in mind, let's get right into it. Okay, so now I'm on the edit page in Resolve where I put a clip on my timeline that I want to track some text to. I have this video shot of a man running in the desert provided by Taryn Elliot from pexels.com, where you can find all sorts of free to use stock photos and video. I'll post a link to that website in the description. As you can see, he's running through the desert here. And let's say that I want to track some text above his head to match his movement here. Just a simple tracking text effect. First thing I'll have to do is right-click the clip on my timeline and hit Open in Fusion page from the pop-up menu. That will open my clip on the Fusion tab. And the first thing you're going to want to do is, with your media in node selected, so it's highlighted red here, hit Shift Space and type in tracker to search for all the different types of trackers within Fusion. Today we're just going to worry about this basic tracker at the bottom, the camera tracker and the planar tracker. I'll go over to accomplish some more complex effects in a future video. So I'll just hit enter to select the tracker. And then next, you're going to want to scrub your timeline to the very beginning where you want to begin tracking the image, and then hovering over this tracker 1 box that was created when you created the tracker node. Hold left click to drag and then line up the center of this crosshair with the part of the image that you want to track. In my case, that's this guy's head. And at this point, you can hold left click on the edges here if you want to adjust the size of the tracker. If your subject is smaller or larger than you want the tracker to be, you can adjust that. I'm just going to leave it about the default there. And then go up to the top of your inspector and hit track forward from current time, this icon here. And Fusion will do its thing, tracking the part of the image you selected from the frame you started at. And you see it got tripped up for a moment there on the man's shirt. That's relatively easy to fix, so I'm just going to zoom in so I can see this better. I'm going to scrub on the timeline to the first frame where the tracker gets lost from the head. So right there. And then reposition the tracker again by selecting the top left of the box and bringing the crosshair to the man's head. And then hit track forward from current frame. And let's take a look at this, see how it was done. Okay, that's pretty good. If you want to tweak this even further, you can hover your mouse over these individual points on the tracker for each frame, and you can just drag them. So I'm just going to smooth out this part of the path here. Maybe smooth out this part, just make it generally smoother motion overall. And I think that looks pretty good. You can always tweak it more later, but the next thing you're going to want to do is add your text to this, left click out of the tracker node, shift space, type text plus to add a text plus node and hit enter. And then hook up your text plus node to the tracker node here at the bottom and type in whatever text you want, style it how you like. And you'll notice nothing is showing up yet. That's because you have to left click the tracker node, go to the operation tab at the top here, and the operation's currently set to none. From the drop down menu, select match move, and you'll see now it has merged these two layers with the foreground, which is the text, over the background, which is your video, and then you're just going to want to position the text. Left click your text plus node and position your text relatively where you would like it. And if we go back to the beginning and play this, you can see we've got our simple text tracking working just like that. Well, that does it for this tutorial. As you can see, Fusion has some really powerful tracking tools that are relatively simple to use. I hope you learned a bit about the basics of how to use them in this video. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel where I upload a video just like this one every week. In addition, Sword and Shield Studio goes live every Sunday night on YouTube, where I'll be working on something in Fusion, and I'll answer any questions you might have on the live stream. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.